Like Jack and Amanda, Aiden is a very tragic figure. He lost as much of his family like Jack, and like Emily he turned his pain into anger and determination. Though we only see him in 2 seasons, he left a big mark as Emily's fiancé and partner in crime. His backstory is a bit more elaborate than the one of Daniel and Jack. He shares a past with Emily, too. So he is in the same way attached to Amanda as Jack and Nolan are, who knew her before her identity swap with Emily Thorne. In Season 2, Aiden is definitely my favorite new addition to the cast, and one of my favorite characters besides the main cast, of course. So with no further ado, let us go back to Aiden's past. Before he got to know Amanda as a young adult, Aiden's childhood was destroyed in the same fashion as Amanda's. He lost his father at a young age, but his fate as a young boy is in some kind worse and better than Emily's. Better because he still has his mother who could take care of him and loves him. Worse because he lost his sister, too, and had the honor to find his father dead. Trevor Matthis, Aiden's father, committed suicide because he put the bomb on Flight 197. Like Amanda, who believed her father was responsible, Aiden thought his whole life his father was a terrorist.
Well, that's sort of what bonded us. My father died when I was young, too.
Who tried to imagine such a loss made worse by scandal. Trevor and Aiden were so close. Spent hours in the shed doing all sorts of projects. Still, at least he defended his father, even though his classmates called him a murderer.
Only in Season 3, short before his own death, he learned the truth. His father was no coward terrorist.
Your father had no idea what he planted on that plane. They told him it was diamonds. When we met, he carried so much shame. He was desperate to make things right.
Then why kill himself?
I'm sorry. Your father was murdered. Now, the second I gave Pascal that story, I knew I'd made a mistake. I called your dad, and I told him to collect everything he could and to meet me, but he never showed. And when I heard about that suicide, I knew Pascal had staged that whole thing. He killed your father.
He wanted to get his daughter and Aiden's sister back. Colleen was kidnapped to blackmail his father. And instead of killing himself out of shame about what he did, his father was murdered. You can say it is lazy because we have a lot that mirrors Amanda's fate. The lost father and sister. The lies they tell about his father. But while Emily did not know she had a sister, and when she found out in Season 1, clearly is giving not a damn about her half-sister Charlotte. Aiden always searched for his sister Colleen. He made this his life mission.
Like my sister, she didn't deserve what she got. If your sensei will have me, I want to learn how to save her.
What if she can't be saved?
Then I want to learn how to punish every person that helped destroy her, so that no family has to suffer the way that our family suffered.
He even tells Emily when they find her grave that all he did before lost its meaning with her death.
Colleen deserved better than this. You don't understand, do you? Everything I've done, all my training was to save my sister. I've failed her.
Just because you couldn't save Colleen, it doesn't mean that you can't honor her.
Before Amanda returned to the Hamptons under her new identity as Emily Thorne, she was on a mission with Takeda.
Her name is Colleen. She was kidnapped and sold by Dmitry Bladov, 1993.
He was researching information about Colleen because she and her father were another piece of the puzzle around Flight 197. Aiden said the right words and Amanda fell again. This time not so much for Aiden's caring side, but for his determination to save his sister and punish the people who were responsible for their separation. I guess she saw in him parts of her father David Clarke, who always protected Amanda. Sadly, Aiden showed Amanda again that she cannot trust men, and Takeda used the mirroring effect as Aiden left Amanda behind without saying goodbye.
Go where?
Takeda found my sister. I leave tonight. Look, I will come back for you. I promise.
I'm coming with you.
No, it's too dangerous.
Exactly. I've already lost everything. I'm not losing you too.
Meet me in the maze at midnight.
He is gone. Your lover has left you behind. How does it feel to have opened yourself to betrayal, same as your father? You must learn to close your heart. The young man you trusted, understood, yet still you do not.
It seems as if he tried to find his sister while Amanda still was training with Takeda. Again, a plot hole caused in that flashback episode when they first met. Amanda was already preparing herself to go back to the Hamptons.
Turns out, Conrad Grayson was sleeping with one of Victoria's best friends. I was working on a strategy to turn their infidelity into my entree.
So she was obviously already prepared to start her revenge mission before Aiden even began to train with Takeda. Anyway, it seems as if Aiden failed to find his sister. At least he says so. And while he and Amanda were apart, he found a new companion in Takeda's daughter Niko. We will talk about her when we get to Aiden's few relationships. When Amanda meets Aiden, he has searching for the man who kidnapped his daughter on his own. He is Amanda's target, too, in her last mission for Takeda.
Doesn't suit you.
What? The bow tie or the Russian accent?
Both.
You got a name?
Yeah. Sergei Lovsky. You know where I can find him?
No, that doesn't suit you.
What?
Your profession.
So Aiden is ruining in some kind her and Takeda's plan to get new information about Flight 197 and the terrorist group American Initiative.
Mr. Bladoff, this is from Colleen. Who? My sister.
Emily, abort the mission.
Get them out of here! Go!
Emily, go! Go now!
I can't.
In these flashbacks we already see Aiden's most prominent character traits, bravery and hot temper. He is not afraid to get his hands dirty and does not hesitate to use deadly violence. In his first scene when he saves Emily from Gordon Murphy, they set the tone for this new love interest for Emily.
He wanted you dead. I prefer you alive.
Like Nolan, who constantly mocks him with his British and James Bond-related nicknames, the audience gets very quick all the allusions to the most famous British agent.
Mr. Bond, look at you all gussied up like 007 again.
So what do you got for us today, Q?
We're so sorry to hear about your breakup with Remington Steele.
Which is also the biggest problem for Aiden. I think most viewers disliked him and Season 2 in general because the writers made so many borrowings of spy movies and series, which shifted the whole plot and tone of the show and made it look even more fake and inconsistent. I do not particularly like the allusions. They are funny no doubt and fitting considering Aiden is from Britain. But espionage and gadgets instead of using mind games and tactics seems neither fitting for Emily's revenge agenda nor for Takeda and his trainings. Sure, he will have trained them in using weapons. Yet I guess the overall goal is not to draw too much attention to oneself and use what you have. So I do not think that Takeda would give them fancy weapons and spy gadgets like James Bond tend to have. Yes, Emily and Aiden are trained to fight and as ultimate solution kill people. And of course they gather information before they strike. However, these two things are the only similarities between Bond and Aiden. He seems to be no womanizer, although we see that he has his ways with women. But besides Niko, he is faithful to Emily and seems to have no interest in other women. So we can add loyalty and a sense for honesty and honor to his character. Because he tends to act noble with Nolan and Jack after he learned both men are Emily's allies and friends.
You've been an unexpected friend. Thank you. Jack, I was just trying to protect your family. I lost my father at a young age, my sister not long after, so I know the pain of being ripped apart from your own flesh and blood. It was never my intention to separate you from your son.
Like Daniel, he can get very jealous.
Where you been?
Thinking.
About the kiss. It didn't mean anything.
Sure did to Daniel.
You know, you asked me to trust you. Well, you need to trust me too. You can't just disappear when things get a little bit uncomfortable.
Since Emily is pretending to be in a relationship with the Grayson boy and obviously sleeps with both men at the same time, he has good reason to be. However, he seems to understand that Emily has to do so for her revenge mission and does not want to hurt him. So he tries to cope with it.
And you know that Daniel is not my focus. Victoria is. You can't be jealous of somebody that I don't
I'm
even
not
care
jealous,
about.
Emily. I'm disgusted. And I'm going to deal with it the best I can.
Besides Nolan and Jack, Aiden is the most loyal of Emily's men. He seldomly critiques her and her mission. In contrast to Nolan and Jack, he always reassures her when she has doubts and sometimes acts like a mentor or therapist for Emily.
I know you well enough to know that you're not okay. Just talk to me.
Especially in Season 3 when he is the only one who can reach her. So he is very much compassionate and sensible. Like Emily, he is deeply hurt and traumatized by events in his childhood. And has the same fear of being left alone.
If I lost you...
You won't.
Good.
So losing Emily must have always been his greatest fear. Since they met, she is his most important reference person. They share a deep connection not only because of their training as Takeda's students. Like Emily, Aiden is very much pessimistic, only expecting the worst of people. He seems to be a little bit more dark. Maybe again a trope and similarity to James Bond's backstory. He killed many people during Emily's revenge agenda, and sometimes it seems as if Takeda trained him to be an assassin rather than Emily's partner. Aiden is also far easier to provoke than Emily. He is much more hot-tempered.
The girl you called Colleen, she even grew to like it.
No!
He also seems to have more self-doubts than Emily. When he talks with Nolan about killing someone from the initiative, he calls into question their whole training and Emily's mission as well.
I always thought when I avenged my father and sister that I get some kind of peace or closure, whatever that is.
Well, you must have felt something when you killed Trask.
I felt empty.
Sometimes Aiden is some kind of a magnifier for either Emily or Nolan. In Season 2 he constantly changes between the need to help Emily complete her mission and his insight that revenge is pointless and her revengender will only destroy Emily in the end. I think his time with Emily was not only good for him. He learned from her to give in to his hate and manipulate people, instead of dealing with his issues in a healthier way. When he is not manipulated by others like the Initiative in Season 2 or Conrad in Season 3, his goal are the same as Emily's. He wants to take down the Graysons and punish those people who were responsible for the downing of Flight 197 and putting David in prison.
Then marry the son of a bitch. Take them down, once and for all.
Aiden would do anything for Emily, so he is constantly putting his needs and motives behind Emily's revengender.
This is my mission. We operate on my schedule. I need you to lay low for a little while. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, I could do anything for you.
He even tolerates that she is maintaining a fake relationship with his rival Daniel Grayson. So in Season 2 he really struggles with his loyalty to Emily and his own needs and conflicting feelings. In Season 3, especially when Emily has more and more problems keeping up the charade with Daniel, it gets easier for Aiden. 'Cause now he can be sure Emily loves him and they are planning a future together. Which brings us to the most important relationship in Aiden's life, his love for Amanda Clarke. I still think these two are the perfect match. There are obvious reasons like the traumatizing childhood, their mutual loss and their training with Takeda. They share not only the same experiences yet also a similar worldview. Both think it is okay to hurt, manipulate and use people to get what they want. They maintain a lifestyle which keeps them very much isolated and in which they have to deceive nearly everyone in their environment. So they can only be honest with each other, which of course strengthens their relationship.
In this life we've chosen, it's a selfish one, you know. We're lucky that we found each other.
The only problem I can see is that they have two similar character traits. Both are in some kind immature, very resentful, violent and quick to anger. Obviously the reason why they both are fighting so much. At the beginning when Aiden is back, Emily is not amused.
Are you alive?
And I prefer you 10,000 miles away from here. Tell Takeda I don't need a nanny.
Are you gonna get out or do I need to throw you
What
out?
you need right now is my help.
Even though Aiden saved her life, she is doing anything verbally and physical to drive him away.
I want you to leave. Now.
Sorry, are you gonna take the head or the feet?
The head.
Are you disappointed to see me alive? Death by dumpster had such flair.
Seemed fitting.
Aiden has to fight hard for his place on her side. First as her partner and confidant.
Answer that phone and it will be the last thing you ever do.
You want to do this alone? Fine. But you'll soon find out I make a far better partner than enemy.
I want you to leave.
How many times do I have to say I'm sorry before you'll trust me again? I know everyone you've ever trusted has betrayed you, but I've changed. But I'm not giving up on you. I'm just gonna have to trust that you won't give up on me. Hey, you sure you're right?
I needed someone. You walk through the door. Don't let it go to your head.
Until she finally gives up and lets Aiden into her bed again.
If you would have told me 6 years ago that I'd be here in this bed with you, I would never have believed it.
In Season 2 and 3, with the rivalry of Daniel and Jack, Aiden feels constantly not good enough for Emily. Maybe something he inherited from his early childhood. Since his family seems not to be rich, and living in the Hamptons, he must have get very quick that Emily shares the same background as Daniel and his family.
There are worse places in the world to have to carry out one's mission.
Jack is not rich, but his childhood connection to Emily is something Aiden fears, and he sees Jack in Season 3 as a threat for his renewed relationship with Emily.
But you've no right. I know the two of you had what can only be described as puppy love, but that's the past. And it's forgotten. I'm the future.
You trying to convince me? Or yourself?
Feeling inferior to Jack because he is always such a noble character.
I was such a fool. Thinking Emily would walk away from her revenge, especially for love.
She did it once.
For whom? Clarke-Porter. I guess I wasn't the only one harboring secrets. He's in the way. Of you. Do you love him?
Oh, are you seriously
I need
asking
to
me
know,
that?
Emily, because I didn't just come here to take down the Graysons. I came because of you. And I will not be made a fool of.
Don't pretend that you're acting out of anything other than jealousy. You willfully endangered Jack. That is the truth, Aiden.
The truth? You want the truth? Okay, well, here's the truth. You run straight to Jack instead of standing by Daniel as you're supposed to. I prayed it wasn't true, but I had to see it with my own eyes, and I guess now I have my answer.
It does not help that Emily told him the truth about her identity at the end of Season 2. And that he becomes also her partner in crime like Nolan and Aiden.
You know, maybe there's something that you could do to help.
Really? But I am. I'm not sitting on the sidelines anymore. I'm all in.
Since Nolan is gay most of the time and has no romantic interest in Emily at all. Aiden tolerated him as kind of Emily's pet or puppy doll. Yet Jack, who has obviously an interest in Emily, or at least had posed as a threat. Even more when Aiden gets to know that Emily had developed feelings for him as well in season 1.
For you, baby. And I can't just walk away, not now.
Certainly not for me. I spoke to Nolan. I know that you were prepared to abandon your vendetta for Jack last summer.
It is interesting that Aiden manipulates Jack at the end of season 3 with the prospect of getting Amanda back.
Why are you here, Jack? You're worried about Emily. You know, you should know that despite mine and Emily's numerous attempts at making it work, it hasn't. I have to let her go. But you obviously can't. You still care about her. But the problem is you don't want her. You want Amanda Clarke. Now, you will see that girl again, but only if this plan succeeds.
He even lies to him that he would have let Emily go and they broke up this time for good. I still wonder why Aiden did that. Clearly he wanted to give Jack the big surprise when he saw the two kissing again. But why? Has Aiden developed a penchant for torture? Or does he want to make Emily choose? In order to feel safe that she wants to be together with him.
You and I, we've called it quits so many times. But we haven't been able to make that stick, really, have we? And that's because we fit. We belong together.
I know.
Aiden's relationship with Nolan Ross has its ups and downs. At first both are equally pissed off by each other and see a rivalry here.
Who's that guy?
An ally.
Nice meeting you. Jerk. There really wasn't enough room in your sidecar for both of us.
Hello, man.
Hey, buddy. When it wasn't enough to pilfer my only friend, now you want my office too. I am only doing this for Emily, but what I want to know is, what is she to you? Exactly.
She's someone who I once hurt very badly, and now I'm trying to make it up to her.
Hurt her again, and I swear you will pay.
Understood.
It is funny how Nolan tries to minimize Aiden's influence on Emily, yet at the same time is truly afraid of this trained assassin. Aiden seems not that much to care about Nolan in season 2. He tolerates him because he is Emily's friend and helps them with his very own talents. In a significant scene at the end of this season, Aiden tells Nolan what he means to him.
You've been an unexpected friend. Thank you.
And in season 3 they finally become friends even though they mostly talk about Emily and her mission. Nolan, who was a Gemily shipper from the start, seems to accept that Emily wants to be with Aiden. In season 3 it seems as if he approves Aiden. He even plans to visit them after they went away if Emily accomplishes her mission.
Our last name is gonna be Ross.
Yeah. Nolan insisted we'd be distant cousins so that he could come and see us without attracting any unwanted attention.
His heart is even bigger than his brain. I'm gonna miss him.
Well, I remind you of that sentiment when he's crashing on our sofa every other month.
So Nolan's devastation after, spoiler alert, Aiden's death shows not only that he understands what this means for Emily, he also misses Aiden as a friend himself.
Why not? Aiden was my friend too, and I loved him.
Interesting is Aiden's relationship to members of the Grayson family. Daniel is obviously his hate figure.
Can you keep him occupied for another 5 minutes?
Gladly.
Hell.
Get up! You saw it!
That man attacked me completely unprovoked.
Are you crying, Daniel?
No.
Maybe because he has everything Aiden would like to have. A fortune and career, a family, and of course Emily as his fiancée. He sees in Daniel just a spoiled boy, who obviously does not know what he is getting into.
First you come after my job, then my fiancé. You think you want my life? Careful what you wish for.
Stupid, arrogant boy! I've just given you something a man like you was rarely offered. A second chance. You're going to let Emily go, and you're going to let her go tonight.
In season 3, Daniel becomes less important for Aiden cause he detects how Emily despises him and clearly has nothing left but hate for Victoria's son.
It's just one more night, and then we'll never have to spend another apart.
One more night.
Charlotte seems to be less interesting for Aiden. Maybe he senses that Emily is not that much interested in establishing a family connection here. I wonder why Aiden is not criticizing her. Because his sister Colleen obviously means the world to him. So why is Aiden not talking more with Emily about her sister? Trying to make her take care of her. In season 3 he even uses her to his advantage.
I know you were expecting somebody far prettier, but Charlotte sends her regrets. You borrowed Charlotte's laptop.
I assume Emily knows you took advantage of her baby sis?
I merely took advantage of an opportunity whilst helping Charlotte.
Aiden only seems to protect her because of the fact that she is Emily's half-sister.
Yeah, but what's the price for a girl's innocence?
That slut is anything but innocent.
You know that's someone's little girl. That's someone's sister.
Otherwise she does not affect him at all. He hates and despises Conrad and Victoria, but only on an intellectual level. Because of their despising deeds.
I didn't blow up your family's godforsaken company any more than my father willingly put a bomb on Flight 197. Every drop of blood the initiative has spilt is on Grayson's hands as well.
There is no personal resentment like with Emily. In Season 2, Aiden even seems to hate the initiative far more. Understandable, since they were the ones who kidnapped his sister and trafficked the girl. So it is only natural that he is more personal involved with this terrorist group. In a way he is as obsessed with Helen Crawley and the initiative as Emily is with Victoria Grayson. I think they mirrored the traumatic experience of the abduction of his sister Colleen, with Amanda losing her father and that night he got arrested. Too bad they never showed us a flashback of this night. It would have made us understand and invest in his love for Colleen far better. And getting to know she was dead all this time would have had more impact on the audience. Instead they went for the shock effect with that stupid video and making young Aiden find his killed father in Season 3.
Aiden found him. I never knew.
In Season 3 he gets a new target for his rage with Pascal.
No, I just want to march next door and ask that bastard what he did to my father.
Who murdered his father. It seems as if Conrad, spoiler alert, did not kill him. Aiden would have done it. Of course not without torturing him first. Unlike Emily, he seems not that much afraid of the Graysons. Maybe because he is willing to sacrifice everything for Emily, including his life.
Love that will always triumph over darkness. Love that I would lay down my life for.
Aiden is obviously not afraid to die.
Well, summer is finished, Mr. Matthis. And once that toxin leads to paralysis, so are you.
Even when Victoria is poisoning him, he finds the strength to fight back. Now about the three other women in Aiden's life: his mother, sister and affair Niko Takeda. Maybe out of guilt because he had not found her daughter, the relationship with his mother is tense. Aiden obviously wants to please her and make her feel alright.
Is that why I haven't seen you in 8 years?
It's my life. You wanted out, you got out.
A pattern he follows with Emily as well. He cannot stand seeing her hurt or sad. In the same time he is ashamed that his mother arouses feelings of hate and anger in him. 'Cause she reminds him of the shattered family. So in fact Aiden's mother lost both of her children long before they died. Aiden left home soon after his father died to go on his quest for his older sister. And Colleen was dead to her since she was abducted. The girl was obviously just a pawn in the initiative's game. They sold her into sex trafficking. Got her addicted to drugs so they could get rid of her easily with an overdose.
Aiden, you have to tell your mom that Colleen is dead.
I can't. I couldn't bring myself to tell her when I thought that she'd been kidnapped. My mother's hope for her children is all she has left. I can't take that away from her.
In contrast to Daniel and Jack, who had girlfriends before Emily, Aiden seems not to have any serious relationship before Amanda. At least we get not to know. In Season 3 we hear that Aiden had another girlfriend during their separation.
You know I'd do anything for you. Not that you deserve my loyalty after you lied to me. Well, you forgot to mention you were engaged. And Emily obviously doesn't know about us, our past, how you left me in Japan with the promise to return. Don't worry, I didn't tell her. But I wouldn't hurt you like that.
Niko Takeda, the daughter of their mentor, cared for Aiden and his wounds between Season 2 and 3. When he returned to the Hamptons to help Emily, she did as well. But only on the surface to help her father's students.
Aiden said you were stubborn.
You know Aiden?
We met when he was on a mission in Sydney, where my mum raised me. And then we reconnected last year after my father's death.
She obviously developed an obsession for Aiden, who just left her when Emily called for his help. Her storyline was just so superficial and full of cliches that I cannot take their relationship seriously. Is Aiden's taste in women that bad? And how did he not get all the red flags in Niko's behavior?
OMG.
Studying my father's autopsy for the first time. But those stab wounds tell a tale. They were made by a katana. His katana. I think the killer stole it, and I will hunt him to the ends of the earth. In the meantime, I'm practicing separating skin from flesh.
To make it even more ridiculous that they rekindle their romance, Niko is searching for the murder of her father, without knowing that she is sleeping with him. Their story arc was just so forced and not at all original. In fact, it diminished Aiden's role as Emily's one true soulmate and confidant, and made him look less honorable and honest. Yes, both times he had his affair with Niko, him and Emily had broken up. But did he not consider in which danger he was bringing himself and Emily with this unsteady girlfriend? Anyway, I think I like Aiden that much because he stays very much the same throughout the 2 seasons. He is loyal to Emily and always comes back even when they fight hard and nasty. Though he seems to be happy when he is alone with Emily.
Right now I'm happy. Being with you is the only time I've ever felt peace.
I think that Aiden never could have been truly happy. After getting to know he failed to protect his sister, he seems to adjust his whole existence to Emily. She is like the sun for him.
Look, I'll be right here when you get back.
Though he had his moments with Emily and Nolan in Season 2. My favorite episodes with Aiden are in Season 3. I love the flashback episode with all the drama around his father's death. And of course the sad story of his sister Colleen. The most sad episode was of course the one with his death and Emily finding him dead in the beach house.
Aiden, are you okay?
Aiden, wake up! Aiden, wake up! No!
At the end of Season 2 I loved his confrontation with Daniel. Though I hate that they gave us no flashback to the end of the fight in the next season. The love triangle with Daniel was fun to watch.
That Emily's a real man-eater.
Your problem is with Daniel. It has nothing to do with me.
My problem isn't with Daniel, it's with this restaurant. You knew he was going to be here.
That's crazy.
Oh, is it? Because I'm beginning to think that the only reason you've been dating me is so that you can keep tabs on your ex.
Oh, that is hilarious. You asked me out.
You okay?
Daniel, I'm sorry.
Emily, wait.
What's going on?
What's it look like? Your ex-fiancé just broke up with me.
A fake-up? Calling me impressed. If I didn't know better, I'd say Daniel's already thinking makeup.
It's the idea.
For now, I still think I can win back Daniel's confidence.
Well, bros before hoes only works if he's not still in love with the hoe, bro.
Well, if your plan is to isolate Victoria from her son permanently, I'm more than happy to dump him in the Seine.
And here I thought you were on board with your girlfriend's engagement. Question from the peanut gallery. How's this gonna work exactly? You sharing Emily with Daniel? I'm all for kinky relationships.
I'm pleased to report that the Maldives eagerly awaits our arrival.
So twisted, isn't it? Planning a wedding with one guy and honeymoon with another.
Especially in Season 3 when Emily is obviously just faking it with Daniel and enjoying her duplicity along with Aiden. Though it was not that much surprising that he manipulated Victoria. I loved the beginning of Season 3. With him staying at the pool house and feeding Victoria with false information.
What are you doing here?
Same thing as you. Looking to destroy the girl next door. I'm not the only one who wants Emily to suffer. She betrayed me in a way you couldn't even imagine. I mentioned that she'd betrayed me. I didn't tell you how. She was seeing me behind Daniel's back, even after they were engaged. I was a fool to think that she'd walk away from all this from the Hamptons. So I want Emily to feel that same kind of betrayal, which means only one thing. Teaming up with you. We can make her pay, Victoria.
Together we're going to unravel and destroy that little bitch.
A far better plot than his lame attempts in Season 2 to become Daniel's friend.
Now you want to be my guardian angel?
I was protecting your best interests.
Yo, maybe you should start protecting your own.
Most romantic was his proposal and that he was the only one who could save Emily from her blackouts.
When you and I first met, we had both lost so much. We faced immense pain. But out of that pain came something beautiful. Love. Love that will always triumph over darkness. Amanda Clarke, you married me.
Yes.
It was my late husband's grandmother's.
I've loved it ever since he put it on my finger.
Takeda had ways of reaching your subconscious before.
Don't you dare. You'll never be Takeda.
You think I want to be here, and it came back because you destroyed us, and I won't let that be for nothing.
I didn't ask for your help.
You're misdirecting your anger. I think the person you're truly angry at is yourself, but you won't admit it.
Go to hell.
Your father and I, we share the same protective instinct.
You're the only person who knew how to save me.
Still, their scene together short before Emily's and Daniel's wedding sums the whole sick and tragic relationship up.
You look beautiful. Just getting to see you so lovely was worth the risk of being here. Yeah?
What do you think about Aiden Matthis? Was his character annoying, or did you like him as love interest for Emily? Did you like the James Bond references, and what is with his end? Share your thoughts in the comments.